Let's talk about Russia's cyber strategy. Because what we're seeing today, well, it didn't just appear out of thin air. It's way more than the latest hack or some disinformation campaign. What we're looking at is the very baseline for modern cyber warfare. And to really get it, we have to look past the splashy headlines.
You've seen headlines like this, right? They're always bold, super dramatic, and honestly, they're designed to make you click. It paints this picture of some sudden, shocking new attack, a massive escalation in what Russia's doing online. But here's the real question we have to ask. Is any of this actually new? Or are we just finally seeing the last phase of a grand strategy that's been slowly, patiently evolving for years? That's what we're going to dig into. So here's the core idea of this whole explainer. Russia didn't just pivot. They didn't wake up one day and invent a totally new playbook. Nope. What 2025 really marks is the moment it completed a project that's been going on for a long time, fusing all its different capabilities, cyber, influence, infrastructure pressure, into one seamless machine. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with what this 2025 integration actually is. Then we'll look at the doctrine of endurance that got them here. We'll break down their pivot to patience, see how AI acts as a friction reducer, and then pull it all together to see how they're orchestrating hybrid warfare. So, first up, the 2025 integration. Now, this isn't about some new superweapon. It's about a whole new level of fusion. Basically merging different parts of the battlefield that used to be separate into one fluid operation. So what do we mean by operational fusion? Think of it like an orchestra. A cyber intrusion, that's the string section. An influence operation, that's the brass. Then you add pressure on critical infrastructure, like the energy sector, and that's your percussion. And coordinating it all, making sure the timing is perfect, that's AI. Before, these sections might have been playing their own separate songs. Now, they are all playing perfectly in sync from the exact same sheet of music.
But you don't just get to that level of integration overnight. It's the result of what you could call a doctrine of endurance. See, Russia's real advantage isn't some shocking new innovation. It's the fact that they have been patiently, persistently refining their methods for years. They are absolutely playing the long game. And the conflict in Ukraine, well, it's basically been a live fire laboratory for them. You can see it in threat reports from places like ESET. Groups like the infamous Sandworm have used this as a proving ground to figure out exactly how to combine cyber attacks, psychological pressure, and hits on physical infrastructure to get the biggest bang for their buck. And we're not just talking about spying. We're talking direct, destructive impact on things like energy and logistics. And this timeline right here shows you that long game in action. It tracks a single campaign linked to the GRU. I mean, just look at the pattern. They move from one vulnerability to the next year after year. But look at that shift in 2025. That's the key. That wasn't just a random change. It was a very deliberate, very calculated adaptation. And that adaptation brings us right to this idea of the pivot to patience. This is a really crucial tactical shift. It shows a whole new level of maturity in their operations. It's all about getting the same results, but in a much, much quieter and more efficient way. Yeah, this slide just nails the contrast. On the left, you've got the old way, the battering ram approach, using expensive, hard-to-find, zero-day exploits. It's loud, it's costly, and you risk getting caught. But on the right, you have the key. I mean, why bother breaking down the wall when you can just find an unlocked door? Targeting simple misconfigurations gets them the exact same access with way less risk. It's quiet, it's efficient. And here's exactly how they pull off that quiet campaign, step by step. First, find a poorly secured device on the edge of a network. Easy enough. Second, use the tools already on that device to just listen to the network traffic. Super stealthy. Third, pull valuable user credentials out of that traffic. And finally, take those stolen credentials and use them to log into other online services, getting a bigger and bigger foothold. It's so methodical, so patient, and honestly, incredibly effective. Okay, so where does AI fit into all this? It's probably not what you think. It's not some revolutionary superweapon that's doing all the work. Its role is way more subtle, but you could argue it's even more significant. It's the ultimate operational enabler. Let's be clear, AI isn't replacing human operators. What it's doing is reducing the friction between all the different parts of an operation. So imagine you want a disinformation campaign to explode on social media at the exact moment a cyber attack takes down a city's power grid. AI is what sifts through the data, finds that perfect moment, and coordinates those two separate actions so they land with a single powerful impact. It's the conductor making sure the whole orchestra is perfectly in sync. And that new level of coordination,
Well, that's what brings us to the big picture. Because these cyber tactics, they don't exist in a vacuum. They are a fundamental piece of Russia's much, much broader doctrine of hybrid warfare. And this right here is that symphony of disruption we've been talking about. Cyber operations are just one instrument in the band. They are deliberately synchronized with diplomatic pressure, with leveraging energy supplies, with massive information campaigns, and sometimes even with physical sabotage. See, the goal isn't just to make headlines with a cool hack. It's to shape the entire strategic environment to their advantage.
If you remember one thing, one word from all of this, let it be this one: orchestration. The real power isn't in any single tool, not the cyber attack, not the propaganda, not the diplomatic threat. The power is in their ability to use all of them together at the same time.
So, we've watched through the fusion of their capabilities, their history of endurance, that tactical pivot to patience, and the big picture of hybrid warfare. So what's the one crucial thing we should all take away from this evolution? The baseline threat we all face now isn't a single piece of malware or some clever new exploit. No, it is a persistent, fully integrated strategy. It's a doctrine that's been built on years of endurance and is now defined by its orchestration. This is a threat that has matured, and it's here to stay. And that leaves us with a final, really critical question. When the threat is no longer just a technical problem that lives inside your network, but a coordinated strategy that's happening all around it, how in the world do you even begin to defend against that? That's the strategic challenge we're all going to be facing for years to come.